Buyers have more information than sellers do now. Cold outreach feels like you're being violated, right? It's not like an opportunity. And authority in your space has replaced aggressive tactics, right? Why can we assume the old model works anymore? You know, the old model assumed the rep knew more than the buyer. That world is long gone with ChatGPT and all the research. You know, buyers often walk into a conversation with more research, more reviews, and more comparisons than the rep is even prepared to do. I mean,
21 is a lucky number, so here we are.
Is it your birthday or something?
Episode number 21.
Oh, all right. I didn't know if you're born on the 21st or something.
No. On the 2nd, but we are on episode number 21, and so I know in the gambling world, 21 is a good number. So there you go.
Oh yeah, duh.
No, I don't really play blackjack at all. I don't really gamble, but I know that. Anyway, we've talked way too much about the number 21, but yes, podcast 21. Here we are. How are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
Good. Doing well. We Content Crib 6.0 is locked and loaded and ready to go.
Yeah, and we had a good little exchange this morning, you, Matthew, and myself, about kind of where we want to take this. And I love the idea of doing some of this team model, and I came up with a fancy word of collective intelligence, which I think is just maybe
like that.
Dummies pairing together, getting smarter. No, but everybody that does Content Crib is very smart.
Yes.
So I generally get a lot smarter every time I spend time with the attendees. But I think, a single viewpoint can create the good content, but coordinated, I think, really creates dominant content together. You know, instead of just like when they stop comparing ideas and then they just combine them. So I love that potential.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm excited about, we're going to do a kind of assignment task for everybody who's coming to Content Crib. So they'll come with something that they've already developed to a certain degree. And then together we'll work on things with collective intelligence and develop it to be the best it can be.
It's better than artificial intelligence. I like collective intelligence, as we're still using the human brain, right?
That's right. Yeah, the humans are definitely going to be involved in this for sure. But yeah, we're in our second or third wave of invites that just went out again. So if anybody's listening to this, they want to come, just send us a DM or something of that nature, and we'll connect with you. And then if it all is, we are all click all the boxes and we're all together on everything, we'll send you out an invite to come.
Yeah, if you listen to the Content Crib podcast, you're definitely on the VIP invite list without even needing to know. But
yeah, 100%. Yeah. So let's cover the logistics. March 20th and 21st, back in Bentonville, Arkansas. We've just kind of settled on Bentonville, at least for the time being, because it's centrally located. Everybody seems to enjoy coming to Bentonville. It's been a lot of fun. It's a town that I would have never in a million years gone to unless this happened. So, and everybody who comes says the same thing. So that's, our next Content Crib 7.0 will be in October of next year. And we may look at another location for October. So that's the plan.
It's so hard though, because October is the best time of year to go.
It is.
So it's like,
yeah. It is. That is a great time of year to be there. So, but no matter what, wherever we go, we always, we get to our max number, and that's pretty cool, pretty exciting. And this time around, we're going to go real heavy and do some presentations from people that are past Content Crib alum, kind of talking about their success, and then have exercises where you coordinate, those who are wanting to get to the next level and their thought leadership and what they want to do. They're going to be able to do that there and learn from others who've already done it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the interesting part will be for us trying to understand how to create that, cross-pollination between the participants without kind of like overwhelming them or put too much pressure on some certain individuals to do that. Do you have any thoughts on how we may be able to do that?
Yeah, I think wherever you're starting, whatever your starting point is, this Content Crib is one that you'll be able to chart your path or chart your course of where you want to go and what you want to do. But then you'll what's going to be really cool is you're going to be able to see what others have done, and they were in your spot. They started from square one, and they knew where they wanted to go, or at least they anticipate where they want to go. And it was the steps in between that they had to figure out. Well, this is going to be an opportunity to learn from others, learn how to do that. And I think that when, we've figured out over and over and over, Content Crib is all about community. It's about, locking arms with others and learning how to do things and bouncing off ideas, going into business together, that kind of thing. What do you want to see out of 6.0? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best ideas are typically trapped in the quietest person. And I think treating 6.0, Content Crib 6.0 like a production team will be super successful because each person will contribute to research, frameworks, story fragments, how they edit it, and give constructive feedback on how they're communicating what they do. Because, we always start with that, right? And then to have that one-on-one feedback and then craft it from there, I think will be huge.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it too, because that's exactly what's going to occur. When each team member that we assign before coming to Content Crib, you'll be in contact well in advance of the meeting, strategizing, figuring out what you want to do, and then get to Content Crib, and then you get to unveil, or at least we're going to give you the opportunity to figure out what the surprise is in this whole thing. I don't know if this rest is necessarily a surprise, but we'll keep it under wraps at what's going to happen with what you've accomplished.
Yeah, and I think it's important because platforms kind of shift, behaviors shift, and people are doing new things, and they're not always talking about them, right?
Yep.
So, and then consumption pattern shifts, algorithm shifts. Like what worked last year became noise this year. What works now is, narrative tension. And it's interesting to see, what other people are doing. And if other people can gather some thoughts and strategies in a small team environment, I think there's a lot of benefit there.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. And by the flurry of signups, it looks like we're well on our way to doing that. So, March 20th and 21st in Bentonville. I take away from every Content Crib, like there's always new information that I get, and somebody shares with me something that they've been doing or how they've been doing it. And, we'd be remiss in not talking about Content Crib RX. It's something that we launched, and I think we're going to try to fire up another cohort here before the end of the year. So maybe it's, if you're interested in Content Crib RX, go out to that www.contentcribrx. It's our platform, Chris and I, that we developed, and 98% of it Chris developed. But it's everything from social selling to thought leadership to tools, AI tools that can help you, the Content Crib Copilot. So it's really, I'm very impressed by it every day whenever I use it, actually. So that's going to be something we're going to fire up hopefully by the end of the year. What are your thoughts about that?
For sure. I mean, it's just getting more evident than ever that, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're B2B salesperson, marketer, or individual surgeon, CEO, leader, like you need to understand how to communicate your value proposition publicly and as well as, direct one-on-one, whether it's in like DMs or text messages or whatnot, rather than just like traditional kind of outdated marketing methods. People want to work with people, and Content Crib RX lays that out very nicely. So you can be able to, craft your ideas, follow the frameworks, because people don't really know where to start. So that was the idea of kind of building it. Yeah. And I mean, it's more about, it's not that necessarily you need more ideas and how you want to communicate them. You need sharper ways to do it. And I think that's what Content Crib does. It gives gives you that ability to craft it and then get it out there.
Well, and there's a term that keeps coming up more and more and more and more, and that's social selling. And man, there are people who are hawking new courses about it every day. It's like I got another ad that rolled through, and it's And I think we'd be, we're in the social selling business for sure. For people who are listening and they have no idea what social selling is, what are your thoughts about social selling?
Yeah, social selling is not selling on social. It's about earning trust in public so that the sale can happen in private, right? People understand who you are, what your brand is, and what your brand is just how you serve others, right?
Yep.
And you know, you want to become less of a stranger and more people, you understand what people say about you when you're not there. That's what social selling is. And once people understand that, then they know how to refer people to you. They know when they need you. And once you've reached that point, everything else becomes easy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very well said. It's developing know, like, and trust well in advance so somebody can know you before they meet you. And that's, it's I did a video earlier today, some long form stuff I did on YouTube, and it was really it was inspired because I talked to a guy, someone yesterday afternoon, they're gonna laugh when I say this, but they were like, I said, "Oh, so you had a sales meeting? How was that?" And they were like, "Well, we had to hit this number, and we're not going to get there. There's no way." And so we had like an emergency meeting. I was like, "All right, so what was the cool takeaway from it?" I knew what he was going to say well before, because I know the organization he works for. He was like, "Yeah, if we each make 10 more calls, and if we do this, and in which equates to, I mean, it was like literally the 1994 playbook taken out again. Let's gonna go make 100 more phone calls, because if we make more touches, more people may open the door and talk to us." And it's just like, man, it's the same old thing over and over and over again.
Buyers have more information than sellers do now. Cold outreach feels like you're being violated, right? It's not like an opportunity. And authority in your space has replaced aggressive tactics, right? So why can we assume the old model works anymore? The old model assumed the rep knew more than the buyer. That world is long gone.
Long gone.
With ChatGPT and all the research. Buyers often walk into a conversation with more research, more reviews, and more comparisons than the rep is even prepared to do. I mean, it would take a tenured rep in a certain position selling a certain product that knows the market landscape super well. Even if they're well trained on it, it takes time to understand all that, right? So, I mean, an unexpected call now feels like someone stepping into your living room uninvited. Like, it's just not the same. So cold is not dead, but it just has to be warmed up by your reputation and your ability to portray how you help them by kind of exposing maybe the challenges that they're experiencing and how they can't be solved unless they work with you.
Yeah. And, it's this weird pushback that it's a lot less than it ever used to be, but this is weird pushback, and it's the old timers, 1994, they go and they're like, yeah, cold outreach is not, no, we're still making cold calls and we're doing this. It's almost like you're taking something away from them. Like you're stealing some of their once, fantastic achievement that they were able to make 84,000 cold calls. And this is what happened. That's not it at all. It's like, why not enhance you? It's kind of like, why don't you, if you have an appointment 22 miles away, why don't you walk now? I'm like, well, because you have a car. It's the same thing. It's like, why not access the tools you can use to make your life so much easier? At least instead of a cold call, it can be a warm call, or at least, tepid call. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the default reaction now is like suspicion. It's not curiosity, where, the old outreach relied on kind of that curiosity.
Yep.
And now it's like total skepticism, right? Your prospect isn't wondering, what you have to offer. They're wondering what you want, right? They don't.
Great. Yeah, it's perfectly said. Yep.
If your message if it looks and feels like a pitch before you even talk, like, you lose them. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get it totally. I mean, I see it all the time. It's like, we need to do this and, more pressure, blah, blah, blah. And it just, buyers are defending their attention as aggressively as sellers are chasing it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And let me tell you, everybody listening right now, don't do what I'm about to say because it happened. It happened this morning.
You have the best don't do advice.
Yes, exactly.
You always do.
Well, this morning I had like this person sent me a message. Thanks for connecting. Let's jump on a phone call, and like put their phone number in the message. And that was it. And like it did work to a certain degree because I went and looked at their profile because I was like, well, maybe I know this person. And I'm like, I have no idea who this person is whatsoever. Like, why would I ever gonna? It was to the point where I was like, that's rude. That's what I said to myself. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's rude that you want to get on a phone call with. I'm like, I'm not that I'm that important, but at least I had some time that I need to do certain things. But anyway, yeah, I was going to say, if you pitch slap somebody with the old call me thing, you might as well just, you're not even in the running anymore.
Well, he or she could have at least said, I see you own a distributorship. I also live in Florida,
something,
et cetera. Something, we should jump on a call. I may be able to help you.
Right. Right.
I may be able to help you. I know some surgeons that are, that work with some of the products you might, or whatever. Or, I am interested in, attending content or something. I don't know.
Something.
Even if they don't want to attend content creators, like humor me, please.
Something, but it's just hey, Eric, and let's jump on a call. Here's my phone number. I'm like, probably not going to happen. So anyway, that's, Content Crib RX. We talk a lot about social selling and teaching on social selling. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's important you said that though, because by the time that someone sends you the message like that, the relationship should already be halfway built.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Great point.
Like send that message after you guys have built up a little rapport or engaged in each other's content, just a little bit, nothing crazy.
Right. And one of the things that I always talk about with people with social selling is, and because the old school mentality is, I'm going to bother you or call you until you say yes to an appointment. That was the old school mentality. And now it's like, it's really easy with social selling to weed out the people that can just waste your time. Now, will people waste your time? Of course they will. But there's so many instances where back in the day, you'd be like sitting in front of a prospect and you're like, this person doesn't have the wherewithal to buy or doesn't want to, or is getting out of the business, or whatever you want to call it. They're working. Now it's a completely different scenario and is completely different on how they'll react to you. So social selling decreases the time for someone to know, like, and trust you. We say it all the time, but it also increases the likelihood that you're going to be sitting in front of somebody who actually wants to buy from you. And that's the goal. But the 1994 bros will tell you, nope, I'm going to call on you 41 times until you finally say yes to an appointment. And the reason that they weren't giving you an appointment is because they're never going to buy from you anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. But the bottom line is, strangers, they want some sort of proof, right? And familiar faces, especially if you're engaging, they require less of that proof, and it's going to get you to the meeting quicker, So
yeah,
when you show up often with more kind of depth and context into their lives or topics that they're interested in, it just kind of naturally happens a lot easier. But it's just a different frame of mind. It takes time. Those dinosaurs will never get it. I like how you said that they protect it. And it's like their big accomplishment. It's funny. It's true.
Oh, yeah. They love to share. Oh, I made 46,000 phone calls in my day, and like, yep. So we don't have to do that anymore. Just like I get to jump in my car and drive somewhere. I don't have to walk there. So same thing, But anyway, well, I think that we have conquered podcast number 21 here.
Yeah, I mean, I love talking about social selling. It's just still, I mean, it's not going away. I don't think anytime soon. I think it's going to become more and more important every day and for the long term because of all the AI noise and how important it is to grow a personal brand and understand how to shape your voice, use video, get out of your comfort zone. It's just being more human and build it, especially if you work in trust-based industries, especially like, we work in healthcare, so everything we do is trust based.
Yep.
That's not going away with AI, so the more commodity selling you do might be challenging, but it doesn't mean you can't build a personal brand about a specific, vertical you work in. Because I guarantee you'd be one of just a few that are actually sharing their thoughts in a in a thoughtful way. But
we have a content crib alum. I mean, Dan Gallagher, who sells logistics services and shipping services, and I mean,
puts out great stuff.
Every day. I'm like, I'm glued to what he's got to say, and I'm like, I know more about shipping and logistics. And if there's ever a time, and anybody ever goes, you know what, I need to shift something from the East Coast to the West Coast, I'm going to be like, call Dan Gallagher. Like, that's what I'm going to do. So
I'm so glad you brought that up, because it is true.
Yeah,
that's a perfect example of if anybody says the word shipping and logistics, that his name comes to my mind. There's no way it could be unburned from my brain.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important. So we'll leave on that note. Hopefully that can make a lot more sense to people.
There you go. Well, cool. Thanks. Appreciate you.
All right. See you.
See you, man. Bye.